Hello everyone. So today I am going to begin with a new language, that is Python. First of all, we are going to see that what is Python and how it is similar to C and C++, as in almost every institution now C and C++ is replaced by Python. First of all, as Python is a programming language, it is used to give commands to computers and do simple set of codes like do calculation, web designing and etc. So first of all, as we generally code in English and the computer understands the code in binary. So like any other programming language, Python also needs a translator which can convert our English written code into binary. So that two softwares which are used by Python for converting its code are compiler and interpreter. As Python is both compiled and interpreted, it is considered a very secure language. First of all, let us understand what is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter. The similarity is that both of these software converts English into binary language. But the difference is compiler converts the whole code at once, which means if you are compiling your code, then all the lines which you have written will be compiled at one go. But in interpreter, the code is compiled line by line, which means first you have to write a particular set of command and then it will be executed line by line, or after each command the next command will be executed. So this is the basic difference, that compiler converts whole code at once from English to binary, but interpreter converts the code line by line. Now let's see the first program of Python, as Python is really a very simple language, so we don't need much of introduction. We can directly jump to the coding. So our first program will be to say hello world, print the message hello world on the output screen. So for this we are going to use a command print. These are the parentheses which indicates that this particular statement is a function. So as you can see, print is a function inside which I am going to put these double quotes, inside which we will write a message, that is hello world. So after we write this message, we have to save our code with any name, let's say hello, and then for running the program we have to press F5. So this is the Python shell which executes your code, and on this hello world is being printed. So as you can see, it is very easy to code. If you want to print any message on the output screen, you have to write only two things. One is your function, that is print. So this is a statement, not actually a statement, it is a function which prints any desired message on the output screen. Any desired message on the output screen. For this code, the message was hello world, and your message must be written inside these double quotes. So these two things when used together can make any message to be displayed on this output screen. So I hope you can copy this code in your computers and print your name instead of this hello world. So for printing your name, you have to just replace this message with your name, let's say XYZ, and you can write it. Python automatically jumps to the next line if required. Like let's say I am writing ABC now. So these two things will automatically be printed in separated lines, which means we don't need any special character to separate two messages like we have to do in C++. We use /n to get a new line, but Python automatically prints the next message on the next line. So in this way.
Next we are going to discuss about variables. As we all know, variables are empty spaces, or being specific, they are also known as empty memory locations. They are known as memory locations as all the data which is stored in a variable is ultimately saved in your RAM. So variables are empty spaces, or specifically empty memory location, which can store value of any type. So here any type means any data type. So there are basically 3 data types which are further being extended to form 6 data types. So let's see what are those 3 data types which are used. So first of all, we store value like 1, 2, 3 and all these values are known as integers. So for storing integer value in a particular variable, we use the data type int. All the keywords turn purple in this Python framework. So as you can see, int also turned purple as it is a keyword. Next we see the category of decimals, like these values. All these values are decimals. So for storing decimal values in a particular variable, we use the data type float. Again, it is a keyword. There are another category of values which are stored in a variable, that are characters, and a group of characters, like when we join 2 or 3 characters, then that is known as a particular string. So this is a single character, and when we combine 2 or 3 characters, then it forms string. So these are different categories which are used in as values in variables. So I hope it is clear. So let's see what a particular variable looks like. So if I write x, so for me it is a variable, but until I store any value, I cannot say that of what type, or the variable is of which data type. Like if I say only x, then it is a variable, but if I say x is equals to 90, then it is clear that x is a variable of int type, as 90 is an integer value. In the same way, if I say y, then it is a normal variable, but if I say 9.76, then I know as this value is a decimal, so the type of y is float. Similarly for strings or characters, if I store this value in this variable k, then I know that this is of the type string. So in this way variables are created. So let's see how can we use variables in programs. First of all, we are going to do a simple code of addition. I am taking a variable a with the value 10, a variable b with the value 80. As you can see, both of these variables are of int type, as 10 and 80 are integers. I am taking another variable c, but I am not equating this variable to a particular value. Instead, I am writing an expression as its value, that is a plus b, which means first this expression will be solved and the resultant will be stored in the variable c. For printing the value, again we are using the same function print, and now inside it I am just writing the variable's name which is going to be printed. So you can use print in a second way, that is to print a variable's value. In the first way we used print to print a message, but now we are using print function to print a particular variable's value. Now we have to save the code with any name, let's say add, and then we have to run it. So this is the output screen, and I got the message 90, which is the variable's value. Now let's see that how did this execute it. First of all, a was equated to 10, b was equated to 80. Then always the value are shifted by equal to, all the values are shifted from right hand side to the left hand side. So this expression got equated to c. You cannot write this as a plus b equal to c, as in Python equal to works by assigning the value on the right hand side to the left hand side. So this equation is not possible. So in this way the value of c became 90. But just by seeing the message 90, you cannot guess that what is this result. You also need to print a particular message with any value. So for that we are going to use the first way of using print, that is write a particular message. I am writing sum is equals to the variable's value, but this will not be executed. Let's see why. So the error is cannot concatenate string and int object. So here the message sum is a string and the variable which is printed is an integer. You cannot combine a particular string with an integer. So for printing a particular message along with string, you have to use another function str, which converts a particular variable's value to string and then uses it. So str converts given value to string. So here the value of c will be converted to string, and then it will be combined with the particular message. So 90 will be treated as string and this will be combined with the message, and this resulting string will be printed on the output screen. Let's see. Yes, so sum is equals to 90. Please do remember that this C will be treated as a string only for this particular command. After that, if you will use C in any respect, then it will be treated as an integer. So this string conversion is temporarily stored in C, or it does not affect the actual properties.
So now let's see the output. Here the message enter your name has been prompted by the function input, and now we are allowed to enter any particular character we want. So I am writing my name here, and then as soon as I will write enter, this value will be stored in the variable name, and then print will show the message which we have written inside it. So this is the message prompted by the input function. This is the value which we have entered, and finally this is the result which print function has returned. So as you can see, if you want to observe the output screen carefully, all the user inputs are in black font, and all the predefined or generated inputs or messages are in the blue color. So in this way you can distinguish what is the user input and what are being generated by the code. So now as we know that how to take string inputs from the user, let's move on to the next section of this video, in which we are going to discuss that how to input an integer or a float value for evaluating any particular mathematical data which you want to calculate. So for this program we are going to calculate simple interest. So first of all we require principal. I am taking the variable's name as p, and then I'll write the function which will help me to take input, that is input, and then I am prompting my message, so it is enter principal. After this the user will be allowed to enter the particular value which they want to enter, but as you all know that input function will accept the value as string type, but we want principal to be a integer so that we can calculate different values from it. So we are typecasting this entered string value into integer, and then it is getting stored in the variable p. Similarly for r, we are taking input function, and after that we are asking the user to enter rate. This rate will be first in the form of a string, and after that it will be converted to float, as we are going to typecast it to float. I am taking float as rate can also be in decimals, so I am taking the data type float. So these steps can be divided into two. First of all, take a variable in which you are going to input the string type of value, and after that you can typecast that string value into whichever data type you want. But instead of making these two-step statement, I am combining those two steps and then storing it in the variable. For t it will be integer, so I am taking int, and inside it will be input function with the prompting message, that is enter time. So this enter time will work for it, and then now we have all the three values, principal, rate and time with us. So we are going to calculate the simple interest, which is p into r into t, this divided by 100. When we used to write this in C or C++, we used to write PRT inside the bracket. This was because C and C++ follow word mass. So as division comes before multiplication, if we will not apply these brackets, then first t will be divided by 100 and then the result will be multiplied by the rest. We don't want that. So for that we used to put the brackets. But Python follows a different rule, that is PEMDAS. In PEMDAS, P stands for parenthesis, that are the brackets, then comes the exponent, then multiplication, then division, then addition, and then subtraction. So as here multiplication comes before division, so we need not write the brackets here, because first this whole expression will be multiplied, then the product will be divided by 100. So now as we know the value of SI, we are going to print it with the message simple interest is. So as we know that simple interest will be a float type as it is in decimals, so we cannot write it like this because we have to combine it with the message which is of string type. So we are going to typecast this value to string, then combine it with the message, and then finally the result will be printed. So let's see the output. So yeah, here's the output. The principal is 2000, let the rate be 3 and then the time be 2 years. So my simple interest is 120. So in this way you can take user input and then calculate whichever calculation you want to do. So as do it yourself work, you can calculate area of rectangle. It is quite easy, just you have to enter length and breadth from the user and then simply multiply it, and the result will be your area of that rectangle. So try to do this code yourself, and if you have any doubt then ask it in the comment section. The input will be the same way which we have done here, and then the result and then the typecasting. So I hope you understood how to take user input from user input and then how to calculate simple things like simple interest and then area of rectangle, similarly area of triangle, square, etc. So we will discuss more concepts of Python in other videos. That's all we have to discuss in this video. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe this video, and ask your valuable doubts in the comment section. Thank you.